How is everybody doing today? I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for asking. I knew that y'all cared about me so much. So I had made mention that Rent a Girlfriend might have been my favorite show to come out in 2020, and it's probably become my favorite show maybe ever in terms of anime of all time. So we got Rent a Girlfriend, which is might be my favorite show of 2020. I think that I've mentioned it quite a few times, and I will mention it quite a few more. But I decided to do a different approach to most of the videos that I normally make. Normally I just give y'all like what I think about an anime and how an anime could be made better and stuff like that. But right now I'm going to tell you guys about a deep dive into the anime mechanics. I'm going to talk to you guys about how much money Kazuhiro, what's that nigga's name? Kazuya. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys about how much money Kazuya spent on Chizuru Ichinose throughout the entire series. Here's the rules for how this is going to work. First of all, I'm only going to go based off of what I've seen in the anime of what he actually spent. There are some times where he goes out on a date with her and he says that he's going to pay her, but he never mentions how much it is. So for those, I'm going to do a little bit of detective work and I'm going to kind of play missy-matchy with it. The goal of this is to see how much money he spent in total on dates with Chizuru Ichinose and to see how much his balance started at and where it ended at. So let's get into it. So as we can see from this opening scene right here, it costs about 5,000 yen per hour to date Chizuru Ichinose. This comes in handy because he racks this one up a lot. So as you can see on their first date, they go out to eat somewhere and it costs him about 40,000 yen just for this meal. The way that I got this is I counted the bills. There are 4 10,000 yen bills. So 40,000 yen just for lunch. That's not including the amount of money that he had to pay to rent her. They also go to the Kanashin Aquarium. I looked up the Kanashin Aquarium, couldn't find it. I have no clue what the Kanashin Aquarium is or where it's at. So instead, I took the Tokyo Aquarium and I calculated how much the price is for admission there. It is $25.50 per person. That's a lot of money. They don't actually specify how many hours he was out with Chizuru Ichinose, so I don't actually know how long they were on a date, but when they start the date, it's daytime. When they end the date, it's nighttime. So I'd have to imagine he was with her for somewhere around about 3 hours. I think that's a pretty solid amount of time for a date to go get food and visit the aquarium and then walk to an undisclosed location. Honestly, I would have to mention that I have to think that it's probably closer to 4 hours, but I'll just say 3 hours to be safe. Now, a 3-hour date with 5,000 yen per hour would equal up to about 15,000 yen just for the 3 hours of the date. So he starts off his bank account with 1 million yen in it, and by the end of that one date, he is already at 800,000, which means somehow he spent 200,000 yen on a date. By my calculations, the date only should have costed him about 60,000 yen, so there must have been some other things that they did that were not included in the anime, or maybe he had some extra bills that he needed to pay, because it does look like there were 2 transactions inside of the his bank account or his wallet, his checkbook. So far he's at a pretty like hefty hit for one date. So now date number 2 comes along. It looks like they go to another cafe. Now I have to imagine that they spent 40,000 yen at one cafe and they probably spent around the same at the other cafe. So I'm gonna go and tack on another 40,000 yen. And they go right back to the exact same aquarium. You know what that means. $25.50 per ticket. So that date gets ruined because he has to go to the hospital to check on his grandma, and now we move on into the second episode where they go on their 3rd date. Now this date, straight up, they calculated it for us, it cost about 30,000 yen for them to go out. That's pretty hefty. So now is the hospital date where they go to the hospital basically just to visit the grandma and just to show the grandma that they are in fact dating, and he goes ahead and pays her 12,000 yen just for going out with him. I think it only went out for an hour, but cost him a hefty little bit, and he paid it. And so then after they get done with the hospital, as they're walking back, they're still in boyfriend-girlfriend mode, even though he's not paying her for this time, and they end up getting asked to go out and get some drinks. Now, when they're going out to get drinks, it looks like his drink costs about 595 yen and her drink costs about 340 yen. Also, I have to imagine that he's probably gonna pay her for the hour that she spent hanging out with him at this bar. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to tack on another 5,000 yen. So we're only 3 episodes in and his total is already up to 147,395 yen. And they've only gone on, like, technically, I guess, 3 dates. So now we move into episode 4 with the beach fiasco, where he totals up a total of 45,000 yen for all the total expenses, which includes seeing Chizuru there, making her be his girlfriend again, breaking up with her, causing a hassle, paying for her like transportation to and from, buying her food, and then just paying her really just to say thanks for not leaving me out to dry.
Editor's note, also I want to add in the scene that probably makes this series one of my favorites, so I'm going to go ahead and throw that scene in. It has nothing to do with money, but it's really what completes the show for me. So, back into it.
So now we're going to go into episode 5 where he just goes ahead and says he's going to book her again just for the sake of it. And he says he's going to book her out every single Wednesday. Now, I can't actually tell how many Wednesdays in a row this show spans because they don't have dates or times or anything. So it was really confusing for me to tell how many Wednesdays he booked. But based off of this, I'm just going to go ahead and add on 10,000 because I'm going to assume that he booked it for 2 hours, which brings his total now up to 202,935 yen, which honestly is a lot for a girl that you're not even dating. You're just fake dating, but it's a hefty amount. So now we're in episode 6 where she goes ahead and sets the ground rules on how this entire girlfriend, boyfriend, rent-a-girlfriend thing is going to work, where he's going to rent her out basically every single Wednesday, and he ends up paying for their entire meal and paying for the time that he spent with her to set up these ground rules. And that cost him about 17,900 yen. So also in episode 6, one of his friends gets a rent-a-girlfriend and he invites him and his rent-a-girlfriend out on a date. They don't know that each other's rent-a-girlfriend, but he invites him and Kazuya and Chizuru out on a double date, and that double date, they don't actually have a price, but given how much it costs to rent Chizuru out, plus how much it costs to do rock climbing, plus the price that he probably paid for transportation, that was a lot of P's. I would have to imagine that this date probably cost him anywhere from like 20,000 to 25,000 yen. So I'm going to go ahead and go high end and go 25,000 yen. So we're going to go and tack that onto his bill as well. So if we're going to go and do it high end, we're going to go ahead and say that the rock climbing date cost about 25,000 yen. That brings a total up to 235,895 yen. And obviously, all of that is only doing the calculations based on if I don't do every single Wednesday, him spending about 10,000 yen to rent out Chizuru. And I'm not quite sure how many Wednesdays are in this show from start to finish, but they start this show in summer when school starts, and then they end it a little bit after Christmas. So we'll just go ahead and say that for 6 months, he was spending 10,000 yen per Wednesday. I don't even want to pretend like that's a number that he's actually doing, but that's probably realistically how much he was spending. Although what I can calculate from watching the show is that he definitely for sure 110% spent at least 235,000 yen on Chizuru Ichinose just on taking her out on a couple of dates throughout the series. And if you look at in episode 7, you see his total after he gets done paying what he says is a couple of months worth of bills. Those are his words. He says, I paid a couple months worth of bills and this is all I have left. He only has 200,000 yen left. So that means that he spent 800,000 yen in the course of 6 months. That's a lot of paper. Now, 1 million yen actually isn't that much in American dollars, but it still is quite a bit of money to be spending on a girl. So 1 million yen actually roughly translates to about $10,000 in the US. Now, $10,000 doesn't really sound like a whole lot of money, but really, in all honesty, it's just to get him through 6 months of school, and he doesn't really have to pay for anything inside of school except for food, clothes, and, well, just kind of being a human being. But if you think about the fact that he spent 200,000, at least 200,000 yen on a girl that he wasn't even actually dating, then it turns into a lot of money. So 235,000 yen translates roughly to about 2,700 US dollars, which if I think about the fact if somebody's spending $2,700 on a girl that they're not actually dating, my brain just wants to go kaplooey. And think about the fact that he's probably spending more than that, considering that he was probably spending about 10,000 yen every Wednesday for the past, I'd say at least 2-3 months. That's a lot of money. So if you guys like the fact that I broke down all the money that this man spent on one girl just to not even admit that he loved her in the very last episode of the season, then be sure to do that. Also, check out Rent-A-Girlfriend because the show is absolutely phenomenal and it does get a second season. So far, it has been confirmed in 2021. It's probably not going to be in the winter 2021 or spring 2021 season. You're probably most likely going to see it more closer to late summer or maybe in winter of 2022. Or there could be fall. What numbers did I just say? I confused myself. I think you guys knew what I was trying to say. I don't think I actually said it correctly. But go check out Rent a Girlfriend. If you guys like this video, please drop a like and a comment and subscribe. Or don't like, don't comment, but subscribe. Or don't subscribe, but like and comment. There's a lot of options. I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can play this whole game. So do one of those three, two of those three, or all of those three, and that'll be it for this video. And I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.
Tryna be nice, baby you nice, but it ain't right, it ain't gon' work, I ain't gon' fight. Hey. Tryna be nice, take no chance, I'm holding my dice. I'm not cold, but I'm sipping on ice. Hey. It's gon' be all cool, I do not want you, I just don't wanna be rude. You asked, do I think you cute? You so sweet like fruit, but I don't think that's true.